and I've been tag team champion multiple times with Mo Kelly at the same city, right? But it's really like it changed up how I do things in the sense of like when I go for a booking or something, I don't just think of like what can I come in as a singles wrestler. I got a tag team partner, I got a faction.
You need more opportunities.
So many more opportunities and so many more like chances to diversify my style of wrestling and to learn, okay, if you put point X with point Z, you get a whole different answer than if you put A and B together, you know what I'm saying? It's different match types, different structures, but overall, it kind of feeds into itself. Some of the things I learned from tag team wrestling, I've applied into some solo matches I've had, and some things that I've obviously already had as solo wrestling, I apply to tag team wrestling. It just kind of balances itself out.
And we are back with another episode of the Project Get to Know podcast. My name is Emmanuel. He's been here before. He was the very first in-person interview with Mo Kelly and with Tina Nix. We have Hanover's finest, the personification of violence, 300 pounds of pure pressure, and Mr. Live Leak, Big Daddy Filthy. I can't believe I remembered everything about that. We have Lue Cameron here on the program. Thanks for having you on.
Thank you for having me. That's crazy because it's actually been updated. But you remembered all that, and that's a feat, brother. That is a feat. And I'm happy to be here again. It's been a while. You know what I'm saying? The first one we did, I think, was AEPW was the setting. And, from that timeline spawned so many moments in my career and so many moments I've seen you have, different podcast interviews, different moments with your IG where you posting the pictures, Super Flake Party, I believe it is. Fantastic time it's been for both of us. So, I'm just happy to be here, brother.
Yeah, because I think you found more opportunities in the tag division. And what's cool is you had two promotions. You have Blackbird and then now with Baracho. What was that like having that opportunity now that you're teaming up with Mo, with the Kamikaze Clique, within the tag division, that you have these two promotions, that you are the face of tag teams in Texas?
Okay, so that's one moniker that I'm going to stand on. And there's a lot of talented tag teams in Texas, a lot of great up-and-coming tag teams. Hey, man, a lot of what some people would consider to be legendary tag teams here, I'm sure. The Von Erichs are from Texas.
Yeah.
But when it comes to, like, tag team wrestling, right, let me expand on this. There's lists that have the best wrestler. They have the best tag teams. But, like, I'm the best tag team wrestler because, like, I got two teams, two cities. And you mentioned Blackbird and Baracho, and I'm glad you mentioned those because that's the same teammate. Mo Kelly, a fantastic teammate, a wonderful, wonderful wrestler. You should book him today. But if you travel around to Waco, Wacky Waco, I got
That's a name.
Wacky Waco, man. When you travel down there, I'm teaming with Madlock, and I have a whole nother tag team championship.
Yeah.
I feel like if you do two things at one time, and everybody else can only do one thing, and multiple times you can do that one thing, but you don't do one thing.
Yeah.
You got the same partner. I did it 2 times, 2 different people, 2 different cities. I feel like that makes me the best tag team partner. However, not only does it make me the best tag team wrestler, I'm now a part of what I believe is the best tag team in Texas and the best faction overall, right? If you add Ethan Hunter to the mix, we have Paradigm. And like you said, I found opportunity in the tag division when there was no opportunity for me in Austin, right?
Yeah.
So I traveled down to San Antonio, I'm not going to say where, and me and Mo Kelly started teaming up. And, this is a vision that we'd had since, like, we were training, me, him, and Ethan, like, to put together a faction. And then to see it, like, nobody just gave us, hey, man, do y'all want to do a group? Like, nobody just offered it to us. No matter how loud we screamed that we were doing this, nobody cared. So when we took it upon ourselves to bring it and, like, push for it, and now we have at Baracho literally all except for the main title, which is going to be coming home on the 21st of September.
It will. It's going to manifest.
It's coming home, man. It's coming home. And at that point, Paradigm runs the men's division at AAPW. Not AAPW. We already do that, right? It'll be at Baracho Pro. And going forward, Blackbird Pro, where Ethan Hunter is also residing. I mean, there's a little gold on Ricky Ramirez's shoulder. We probably alleviate. You know what I'm saying? It's been a journey to get to where I'm at now, but tag team wrestling has given me life, given my whole career like a whole jolt when it felt like for a while there wasn't nothing coming for me. So, I'm I'm forever going to be happy with tag team wrestling. I'm always going to be appreciative of tag team wrestling. My father did tag team wrestling,
Yeah.
and so I'm proud to be the best tag team wrestler in Texas.
Because what's fascinating too is how has that really given you a revival in how you're doing things in your wrestling career now that you have these tag belts? Did it feel like you just gave yourself an adrenaline shot? Like, okay, there is still something that I can do within the wrestling scene.
Well, in a way, right? Because to me at least, there seems to be like a status quo, like a consensus of how most of Texas likes their wrestling, their independent wrestling, and it's not wrong, it's not right. It's just
Yeah.
what they like. However, when it comes to that mold, me and a couple of other people don't really fit into that mold, right? And it's their mold to have, but there are people who will put us in a position and put us in, lanes where we can have an opportunity to show that we are capable of competing with the same things that they like over here. It's a different filter, right? So when I got to doing tag team wrestling, like I said, it's been over a year now that I've been tag team, and I've been tag team champion multiple times with Mo Kelly at the same city, right? But it's really like it changed up how I do things in the sense of like when I go for a booking or something, I don't just think of like what can I come in as a singles wrestler. I can tag. I got a tag team partner. I got a faction.
You
I
need
got
more opportunity.
so many more opportunities and so many more like chances to diversify my style of wrestling and to learn. Okay, if you put point X with point Z, you get a whole different answer than if you put A and B together. You know what I'm saying? It's different match types, different structures, but overall, it kind of feeds into itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Some of the things I learned from tag team wrestling, I've applied into some solo matches I've had, and some things that I've obviously already had as solo wrestling, I apply to tag team wrestling. It just kind of balances itself out.
Because what's fascinating is I'm going to ask this because I've had tag teams. I never asked this that much. What is your contribution being in Kamikaze Click?
Well, in the Kamikaze Click, I'm typically, we're like a straight man comedy duo in the sense of like Mo Kelly's whole thing is so much. You know what I mean? Like it
Yeah.
can be funny, it can be intimidating to lesser men. But then you have me. I'm the constant. I'm the consistent. What you see is what you get. But at the same time, it's more than meets the eye. I know that's kind of cliche and
Yeah.
falling in on itself to say that, but um, I guess to put it blunt, I'm stronger than Mo Kelly. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's strong. He's strong, but
You're stronger.
I'm stronger than Mo Kelly. I'm
Okay.
I'm I'm
Okay.
heavier than him. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the same time, I'm also older, right? So I guess
Yeah.
I would have a little bit more of my head on straight, whereas he's more like he's like a cannon. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You just point and shoot, and he does the job. But I mean, like you got to point it sometimes, right? Um, but I mean, at the same time, I wouldn't be as, I guess, effective in all of my usage if I would not have him, because sometimes, like, hey man, I don't want to dive off the top rope,
Yeah.
but you know what would be awesome if we hit a power and glory thing.
Yeah.
Somebody has to dive.
And
It's not,
yeah,
it's not,
most yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's been doing a lot of top rope sleeves. I was like, wow, that's a big guy. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that dude's like 275. He maxes out at 275 and he goes
Yeah.
flying. Not
It doesn't work that way. Because like what's
300 and plus, not me.
you're, you're like a lead weight. Just like it's gonna be you'll be out of
Hey,
it.
whatever you throw at me, I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna hold it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna reposition it so that he can fly in
Yeah,
and knock it
yeah,
out. Yeah.
exactly. Because you've had your time as the America's Championship. Thanks for because we you had that time. Thanks for like bringing up the podcast while we were traveling out of Texas, to bring that title over in Mississippi at the time.
Yes, yes.
And what was it like to bring that title outside of Texas, saying, "Hey, I am the face of EPW," when you had the America's title to something that's out of state?
Yeah, okay. So that was honestly one of my bigger moments in my very short, very unspectacular career so far. But for personal reasons, right? Because I left Mississippi in 2022, the ass end of 2022,
Yeah,
and I came and saw APW. I signed up for it. I started in January 2023, and I have lost a lot of like people that I care about. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just not here. I can't call them. I can't see
yeah,
them. You know what I'm saying? Every year I lose another person. There's people who believe in me, right, who don't have the resources or the time or really they don't have the luxury that they should be believing in somebody else. They got things that they gotta care about, but they took that time to invest in me, and for me, it's important to come back and to show these people that, "Hey, man, whatever you think about wrestling is what you think about wrestling, but the fact that I took a dream and I went and chased it, right? I
Yeah.
left home. I left where it was now it wasn't even comfortable there, but it was where what you know, right? It was comfortable enough. I left that and I pursued what I knew was my overall calling, and I got something to show for it, right? And if I can do that, right? And I'm nothing special. I'm just a guy who grew up in South Mississippi, came from Germany and somehow made his way over here. I'm just determined to not let it be what it is, right? I want more. And I feel like in that timeline, I hope that I inspired some people back home to maybe do more with their life, because there's a lot of people there that have a lot of talent. They have a lot of just hard work, hard dedication, right? They just don't have direction. And when you have a bunch of people who have no direction and no like, there's no bar. Like everything is just it's not like the wild. It's not. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's the Middle East or nothing like that. Like it's crazy, but it's just it's the bottom of the bucket, right? And crabs in the bucket just gonna keep pulling each other down, and that's what they do there. And you gotta cut ties with people that you love and you want to see because you want to go do better for yourself. You want to be able to be somebody that they talk about when you die. You don't want to just be like, oh yeah, that was Lou. He lived and he died. That's
You just
simple.
wanna leave something better than where
Yeah,
you were bef
yeah. Because then if you come from the mud, what is there but mud? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You can't build a foundation on mud. You gotta get out of there. You gotta find somewhere solid. You gotta bring back, you know, something to dry out all the sludge and shit. Then we can start building. But it's gonna be a while. You know what I mean? So, but you gotta give them hope. If you don't give nobody hope, then there's nothing to believe and there's nothing to see. Like, why would I continue to not indulge in my deepest, darkest fantasies if I mean, what is all I see. You know what I mean? That's just a perspective for me because
Yeah.
that's just something that I think about at times. Like, what is keeping me from, as the kids say, crashing out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is crazy because when I was young, being a crash dummy meant that you're too dumb to be put in positions
Yeah.
of power. Like, hey, we send that guy over there to you know, commit whatever act because we know he doesn't understand he's going to jail. He doesn't, and
Yeah.
nobody cares when he goes. Like no, so I've never been big on this whole crash out culture. Like I get it, and I get the memes and the riffs, but like in Mississippi, crash outs are a dime a dozen. Like most people in your family will crash out behind nothing, and
Yeah.
that's why your family probably doesn't have anything, right? Generational wealth just ain't a common occurrence. Not my neck of the woods, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, just I don't I see all that and I don't want that. I don't want anything to do with that. And if that means that I have to come to a state where I lose half my teeth and can't rotate my shoulders so good and lose all that I loved or that I thought that I was gonna have and find better, I'm the type of person I'll make that sacrifice, right? Because there's nothing to be gained in living in mediocrity. You're gonna be mediocre. I mean, if that's what you want, it's fine.
Yeah.
Not hating. But, it's not for me. You know what I mean? I'd rather do something I can look in the mirror the next day and be like, "Yeah, it was cool." That's if I die today, that was cool.
Yeah, because I used to remember, like, there was I used to have a speech a long time ago, and it's like, it's this birthday to this. What's that tiny little line?
Mhm.
And let's say you were born in so and so, and you passed away in so and so. What's that little line in between? Because people overlook that, and it's one of those things where you realize what's that little line, and it's funny. It's kind of nice to you mention that too. Is where will you leave when you do pass? What's the legacy that you leave behind? And it goes back to what we mentioned. You want to leave something better than where you were left off, whether it's in your wrestling career or it's in your life. Like you want to leave that legacy behind, and then that's what you mentioned for so long with that too.
Mhm. I don't know, man. I spent a lot of time with nothing. You know what I mean? So it's nice to feel like I have something, even though this is just, hey man, this is small potatoes. This is peanuts to some of these guys, right? But
Yeah,
to me and to the people at home, it meant something, right? So when I took it to my family, I took pictures with them with the championship, right? It was a moment of joy, right? Because like I didn't go to college, right? But there's people in my family who have less accolades than that. People in my family don't have a GED. You know, these people in my family can't
Yeah.
read, man. So, like, for me to bring something home that they believe in, that they care about, priceless,
Yeah, and
priceless.
they'll look up to you regardless because like, "Oh, you've done something impactful."
Hey, I'll tell you what, I get a lot more contact now. Like, hey, thank you so
Really?
it's funny how that happens. And nah, I'm joking, but it's look, it's cool. You know, there comes a point where you want things to be like how you envision them. You wanna have the family interactions and stuff. And sometimes it comes at a cost. And sometimes there's a lot of members of my family who just already believe, like I said, but you know,
One of the things that we kinda we talked about this too is, and it's been brought up a couple of times, especially growing up, and what does Jerry Lynn have that connection in your life?
yeah, okay. So when I started at APW, Pop said that we're gonna have a Jerry Lynn seminar. And then it didn't happen for a while and didn't happen for a while. And I know who Jerry Lynn is enough. Like I should have watched more Jerry Lynn in his ECW time than I should. I mean,
Yeah.
that hey,
He's
everybody
legendary with
everybody should be watching more wrestling. That's real,
yeah.
right? But I was always aware of who he was, right? I remember seeing him in TNA and things like that. What I didn't know is that he wrestled and I believe trained with my father
Okay.
in Minnesota when they went out there for Ed Sharkey's promotion. And when I saw him the first time at AAPW, we had did a seminar and he rounded out to like we were walking to the ring and he rounded back to me. He was like, "Hey, I know your dad." And I was shocked because like I was gonna ask because like it's always something that I want to know. Like, hey man, have you ever heard of my father? Because like you know that's kind of like my big thing is like I want to make sure more people know who my dad was before basketball. I was like, you know, I feel like he doesn't get enough flowers because the timeline and everything. But whatever. But when he told me that, and he told me all the, you know, told me tales about like training with my dad and just about how he was and his general energy and stuff. And man, I just remember having that moment there where it was like it felt real. It felt like a real connection I had with my dad. My dad's been dead since I was like 1. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Okay, didn't know okay.
Yeah, so he's been gone, right? So whenever I got into wrestling, a lot of this was to feel a connection with him, right? And now it's like now I feel like, man, I'm really doing it, right? Like look at me ride my bike, dad, but he's dead.
Yeah.
It's terrible. That's terrible. But it's real, right? It's real. It's just what I've had to deal with. Is what I've called life. And to have that moment with Jerry Lynn and you know, I took a picture with it and I sent it to my mom and you know, told her about everything, and she was just, you know, she called me in tears, and she was just happy to hear that I learned more about my father's history through wrestling and stuff. Because like when I was younger, his matches weren't even on YouTube yet, right? Like it took a
Oh,
while, and now there's like more and more of them. But like to be able to have a conversation and a genuine connection with somebody over the fact that they knew who my father was, and then he's come back to the school since then. Um, Jared's a good guy, man, solid dude, and he's doing great work out there. It's just I never would have expected that I'd have any moment like that because I didn't, you know, grow up with my dad holding my hand through the business, so to speak, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm a second generation wrestler, but like in name mostly, right? Like, I've had to get every shred of this out of the mud. Like, hey, man, I still haven't got no, you know, favorable bookings just because my dad was a Stampede Hall of Famer. Nobody's cared. Nobody's
Yeah.
cared. But it's cool to hear stories like that. And so, I just, you know, me and Jerry exchange contact, and from time to time I message him, but it's mainly just cool to have that knowledge that exists in the world. You know what I mean? That my dad left enough of a legacy. That it's not just me that thinks about my dad, but other people do, and so that's really awesome.
To have that connection, and did it take time to piece that picture for you and how your dad does, in his career?
Yeah. Okay. So that's kind of I could expand upon that based off the Jerry Lynn conversation because um when I started working at Matt War Pro out in Fort Worth, fantastic
Yeah.
promotion, by the
I
way.
have
If
to
you
go
haven't
there,
been,
you have to.
October 17th, come out to Matt War Pro, Fort Worth, Texas. It's the place to be, man. Uh, Shout out the boys. But nah, I wrestled a 300-pound manimal. And afterwards, we'd had had a brief conversation, and he told me when he found out who my dad was, he told me about a contact that I should make with a Mr. Bob Johnson.
Yeah.
And you know, Bob Johnson's a wrestling historian, friend of Stu Hart's. So, I eventually reached out to him. He's dealing with illness, but God bless him. Tough old gun, man. But I reached out to him, and I was able to learn more about my dad, like just little stories and like his nature. And one thing that stuck with me that I've been trying to like perfect, like they said he'd get the time and he'd find out, what the finish is. Hey, I'll see you out in the ring. And the most people, right, that's a nightmare because like, oh my
Yeah.
God, what are we gonna do, bro? I feel like that is, as a worker, right, that is the ultimate that's like the ultimate credential, right? If I can
Yeah.
just do it in the ring, right? We just work off the crowd, man. You know what I'm saying? And it feels the most authentic to me in that regard. But then sometimes you get a banger that you call all the way in the back.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I just prefer to try to emulate my dad in any way that I can. So if that's his method, you know what I'm saying? And I already kind of do that as it is. But
Yeah.
realistically speaking, man, I just like I said, I do all this to try to find a way to be close to him. And the more I go with this, the more I grow in my career, the more I meet people, the more I interact with people, the more it's like, sometimes I feel like Harry Potter and
Harry,
and how
that is oddly so go
yeah, man,
ahead.
yeah. And then I got Hermione and Ron with me, bro. And and we're just out here fighting the world. But sometimes it's just because there's a lot of hidden Easter eggs that I wouldn't have expected. And around every nook and cranny, there's like some new information about, either my parents or like I learned about the art of wrestling, you know what I'm saying? And it's all something that I'm just appreciative for. I'm appreciative
Yeah.
to be able to digest this. Appreciative for AEPW for having given me the birth point. Appreciative for Wes Adams. Shout out Wes Adams because before there was AEPW Lue Cameron, there was a Power Slam Productions and a Mr. Cameron was shortly trained there. And then, he was a young man with a girlfriend. And so
Yeah.
the dream didn't take off. But I took that base and I brought it to AEPW and Papa Don turned me into something that I couldn't have imagined to be in my wildest dreams. And from there, I've had, so many good experiences, so many different promotions. I've had the mentorhood of, I'm not gonna try to kill their steeds here. I know they like
Yeah.
to seem like tough guys here, but like, I've been able to pick the ears of like Brick Savage, a Dmitry Alexandrov, Matlock, Killer Cash, you know what I'm saying? Sam Stackhouse recently, Akira Masada. Like I've been fortunate, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Name Dropper because there's people who can shit on all that, right? But I've been fortunate to have these interactions with people that I wouldn't have dreamed of having 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
When I started AEPW, fun fact, when I started AEPW, I was thinking I was gonna be a manager at best. I was like, I'm just trying to be a manager because I can talk. I can talk all day, right?
We're doing it right now.
Yeah, look at me. Look at me go. Who'da thunk it? Me. That too. But no, and then I was able to do the wrestling portion of it a lot better than I thought for a man in my age. I was a firm 20 something at
Yeah,
that
I
time.
was gonna ask that because like you've had his pops. I mean, we had like side conversations with pops about that. Like, yeah, Mo and Lou like transformed a lot. What was like the main thing that kept you to be transformative, both in character, but also like in physical strength and exercise and all that?
Um, just wanting more, man. At the end of the day, like I said, there was a time where, we weren't really getting bookings in Austin like that. Like,
Yeah,
and that's the closest one. We had to travel down to the Valley, which is 5 hours away, or travel down to San Antonio, which is two plus. And it was, it was grind time. It's me. I've started working out like a year before I decided I was gonna take the plunge into wrestling because I always knew that that was gonna be the thing that I hated, right? Like I was
yeah,
a big old fat bitch, so I did not want to hit the gym. It wasn't for me. But at the same time, when I wanted to get into wrestling, I realized that that is gonna be the hard part, and so it's best to start the hard part when nobody's looking because you get embarrassed, you're like, I don't want people to see
Yeah.
me doing." I did it outside of my camper that I was staying at in the dark before I went off to my job doing, federal student aid, right? I'm outside in the dirt with
Yeah.
dumbbells, you know what I'm saying? And so I just took that mindset and I transferred it, and for a while, it was just, we'd meet up at, like, my home gym or his apartment gym, and then we'd work out there, and then we talk about what we wanted to do next, right? Like, so it was hit the gym and wrestling, and then it was go to training, and when we get done training, run, whatever new offense we wanted to do, and then talk about where we're going next, and repeat, rinse, lather, repeat, and then work in between, of course. But I mean, that was really what was important to us, and it's just you want to be better. You want to be able to take away. You want to take away the negatives, but also you want to take away the excuses people have for why you're not in the position that the fans think you should be in. Damn what I think.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not a booker. I'm not a promoter, right?
You're just there.
I'm just there, but I know that when I'm there, certain other people are there. The reactions tend to be a little bit more there.
Yeah.
But were you there when we won the tag titles at Baracho?
No, I did see videos on it,
Hey,
and
I'll be honest with you, I was not expecting that reaction, right? Like,
yeah.
cause I'm not really out here shaking hands, man. You know what I mean? I'm not out here glad handing with the people. Never have been. It's not my style, bro. I feel like that's disingenuous. I feel like if I'm out here faking like I know you, y'all don't know me. Y'all didn't grow up with me. Ain't a person in this state that knows me from Abel outside of the people that I stay with. You know what I mean? Nobody knows me. So for me to sit out here and act like, hey guys, I'm here to fight for you. I don't care about
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like those people they pay for their entertainment.
Yeah.
By God, I'm gonna give it to them, and I'm gonna collect my little envelope, and I'm gonna go home.
Yeah.
And we're not gonna think about each other. But as time grows on, I guess the aura's on the knob. I guess people, they start gravitating towards your boy. And I started getting reactions that I didn't expect to get, but at the same time, I'm a fair man. I'm not a hard-hearted man.
Yeah.
If the people love me, why would I not love the people? You know what I mean? And I don't, I don't yet, but I do love the moments, right? And I think that's what they love at this moment is they love the moments where they don't have to feel like I'm gonna rob them. They get to be like, "Yay,
Yeah.
that's our friend."
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be number day one. You know how it is with me, because that's the only thing that I've come to appreciate. And since that interview that we've done in person at APW Arena, it's like there's something. And how has that momentum that we've talked about a couple years back? How did that momentum carry over to now that you have all these titles? What was that momentum like with all the titles that you've had?
Um, so it felt like a good undercurrent, I guess is the word. Like it was like a good uh pilot light, right? Because I mean, it went from there to more just more clicks, more likes. But that was right. I think that was right before I stopped getting booked in Austin so much. And then I had to take what little momentum I had with that, right? And that's what I took down to San Antonio. And I was at some goofball location. I
Yeah.
couldn't even remember where it was, man. But we went in there, and me and Mo Kelly decided, you know what? Hey, man, we're gonna try our luck at this hand. I mean, our hand at this tag team thing, and it worked, right? Came out, same kamikaze click. The only difference is we was coming out to Yonkers back then. Same kamikaze click, same damage, and though the people weren't loving us, they were respecting it, and that's kind of been, I guess, that's kind of been the vibe. It's
Yeah.
been the motion lately. It's
They're
been
aware. Let's just say that.
yeah,
They're
it's
aware.
it's like they may like Mo's freaky stuff, right? And they may enjoy when I slap the taste out of a man or two, right? But at the end of the day, they understand that we're not crowd pleasing, right? Like Mo's just a freak.
Yeah.
That's his name.
I mean, yeah. Freak demon.
He's a
There you go.
freak demon.
There you go.
That's he'd do that by himself with nobody in the room. But I mean, when the crowd, I guess when the crowd just likes it when they kind of just want more of that. They crave it, right? And then you start seeing derivatives of it, and I'm an honest man, right? I'm not saying that this is the first time that anybody's ever done anything risque in
Yeah.
the ring, right?
Provocative? Let's say
Yeah, man.
provocative. That'd be more of it.
We remember Goldust. We
Yeah.
remember Viscera, right? These guys have been here, bro. Um, Billy Gunn to a degree, right? It was the Ass Man, Road Dogg Jesse James. We remember the Pump Handle Slam, the whole DX. I just think that it's interesting that there was a timeline where people told Mo Kelly, "Hey, man, you got to cut that freak stuff out." No, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
But contrary to that statement, that is exactly what people wanted to see.
Yeah.
That is listen, I've seen a man get his head humped against a turnbuckle and the crowd went absolutely wild. We are
Right.
not
That's
in
right.
Toto
That's right.
anymore, Kansas. You understand what I'm saying? Um, but it's one of those things like, that's a risk. He took that risk because the truth is, like, let's dial it all the way back. Let's take the jokes and stuff out. The truth is that could be a no-go, right? That could be something that gets you blackballed, canceled, whatever people want to call it, because there are sponsors and stuff that may feel a way about it, but the fans are gonna like what they're gonna like, right?
Yeah.
And the fans are ultimately who are gonna be the reason why the sponsors recoup anything or make any sort of money, because if there is no fans in the venue, no matter how many sponsors threw their money up and were like, "Yeah, man, let me just put a food truck out there." Okay, well, now you're not selling anything because there's no fans.
Yeah.
So the fans are gonna be the ones who tell you what they want, who they wanna see, where they wanna see them, but this is wrestling,
Mhm.
and people decide what they wanna put where they wanna put it, and that's their prerogative, right? Like, there's a multi-million, billion-dollar company right now that people will complain to the ends of the earth. They don't know what they're doing over there.
Yeah.
That booking's terrible. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not there, right? I'm not a part of the fandom anymore because at this point I'm trying to create my own fandom. Now, do I still watch and enjoy wrestling? Of course.
Yeah.
But I understand where it starts and where it ends for me because I can't, you know what I mean? I
It's
can't.
it's always it's always, and I'm learning this both on the indies and the larger promotions, it's always butts and seats. And it's always been the goal for a lot of these promotions is we don't want an empty seat. We don't want empty seats in the show, but one of you guys being there, suddenly there's like 10 people in those
Yeah,
seats out of, let's say, 100, and 75 are there. You might be that additional 15,
yeah.
10. Could be friends and family who would be in those shows. But for you as a wrestler, you're a draw. And the promotion is just the net that brings those wrestlers together to bring those people in with
Yeah.
those seats too.
Yeah, because if 5 people come for you, 7 people come for Joe Schmo, 10 people come for, um, you know, Donnie Do Right, and then you got 3 more people coming in for Sally, you got like 20 people, bro.
Yeah.
You already got you a little section because a lot of these buildings ain't that big, man. So, you know what I'm saying? If you can make your card make sense and you can give these people a reason to come back and to react, you got them hooked,
Yeah,
man. You
exactly.
got them hooked. Or you could just be somebody's favorite, and just put on a good product and have them know that you know what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
For that, I give a shout out to the former MNC Fight Club, and I believe now they're Premier League Fighting.
Yeah.
My boy Jordan Thrash out in Mississippi. Shout out. Yeah, they were. That was when you saw the milk and cookie, the jar. That was us, man. You know what I'm saying? And they put together something that people believe in down there, right? And I remember at the beginning of my wrestling journey going to talk to them, and they'd always had like the ground for it. They always had the base roof for it. And then they started building it up. And now there's people in a state where it doesn't exist in that care about the name, the concept of
Yeah.
milk and cookies, and I think that's beautiful. And I feel like that comes from being not only likable, but also knowing how to put butts in seats,
Yeah.
right? Those guys, they draw incredible. I went to a show, the last milk and cookie show, last official milk and cookie show, and packed house. Packed
Yeah.
house, nowhere to sit. Matter of fact, you got up, you lost your seat. It was terrible. It was
Wow,
terrible, but
that's
it was awesome.
that
It
big?
was good. They do good down there, and,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things like, I want I wanna be a part of things like that. I wanna be a part of shows like that, cards like that, so, as his career grows, right, or as I guess it'll dwindle down eventually, I wanna
Yeah.
be able to be on maybe in the back, helping to put together these type of things, you know what I'm saying? Helping to visualize, conceptualize, um, you know, characters, stars, you know what I'm saying? New angles, whatever comes with it because I just really love this business, bro, and really want to be as much involved in it as I can, but I feel like everybody says that. I
Yeah.
feel like everybody's gonna say that until you run across a guy who should be saying that, and he's like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna go do acting." It's like, "Cool, dude."
It's like moving on.
Yeah, cool, bro. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's I'm very
Yeah.
fortunate to be here.
With the people that you have right now, and we're close to wrapping up too. So with the circle that you have, and what is the motivation now that you're in this career in this span of time? What's the motivation that says, all right, I'll keep going when crap hits the fan or when things are good? What keeps you up in wrestling?
Money.
I mean,
We all know that's a lie. Now listen, all jokes aside, what keeps me up, man, like doing this is sacrifice, right? At the end of the day, um, I've sacrificed way too much to just get here, right?
yeah,
I didn't get all the way here just to get here and go home. So for me, it's like there has to be, I'm not saying there's a pot of gold at the end of the road, but we didn't come all this way to say, all right, well, this is enough. This is good enough.
yeah,
Everybody I think that I know is trying to get some sort of contract, some sort of big spotlight, not just go viral, but stay viral, become relevant, sell shirts, sell merch, become timeless at the end of it all, right? But it all starts at the ground root and having a good group of people around you, right? And people always say wrestling's not about making friends, this business is not about friends. And to a degree, that is 100% honest, right? Like, I guess exclusive to wrestling, but um there comes a time where you're gonna have to make a choice on are you gonna go with making everybody happy, you're gonna go with, I guess yourself, right? Like that's the commonly used one. It's like, hey man, if they hand you a contract and say you can't bring your friends, what are you gonna do? And for me, that's the most logical thing in the world. Like, I want my friends, hey, if they hand my friend a contract
yeah,
and he doesn't go because they're not bringing me, we're not friends anymore.
yeah.
Because what are you doing? What was all this for?
It's your journey.
Yeah, it's your turn, bro. Take it. If me and the guys don't make it, but Mokele does, or me and the guys don't make it, but Ethan does, or if the guys don't make it and I do, I hope that we're all mature enough and understand enough that, hey, this is just what it is. I'll call you on the weekend, or maybe not the weekend because that's show day. I'll call you at a random Tuesday and we'll FaceTime. We'll go get lunch or something, right? Like, this business, though it is highly competitive, does not have to be so like toxic and like just gross and lame at times because like, you know, I would never imagine a universe where the Big Show is competing for a spot with Hornswoggle,
Yeah,
but they can both have a job. You know what I mean? I would never imagine that John Cena needs to compete for a spot with Charlotte Flair. They can both have a job, right?
yeah,
Like, I mean, you can even dwindle it down further to people who are more alike. Like, I don't think a CM Punk and a Jeff Hardy need to compete for a job. They can both have a job. There's enough room at these tables for everybody. And I'm using
yeah,
that. I'm using that simply as like an example of people who are different or share similarities, right? So for me, it's when I hear like you hear people just. I'm not a big shit on a person kind of guy, right? Like if I'm shitting on somebody. I promise you, I've went every route to not do that first.
yeah.
I've
There's
probably
respect at the end of the day.
yeah, well, I mean, I don't want it. I'm not no coward, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be the guy that's like, "Hey, man, heard you were talking shit about me." Oh no, not me. Uh, of course I was, because at this point, that's where we're at now, right? Like we're no longer at the, "Hey, man, I'm gonna keep it cordial with you." At this point, I'm trashing everybody because I hope you do something, but that's not that's not. First off, that's not how this business works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People talk a lot more than they swing, but at the same time, it's those types of behaviors, like going out and trashing other wrestlers because either you don't want to take accountability for something that you did that was
Right.
shiesty,
Yeah.
or because you think that they're a threat to you, or you just don't like them personally. Like, I've never been a fan of that because at the end of the day, everybody's sacrificing something to be here, or they should
Yeah.
be, right? Like, if you're not, you are in that ring. I promise you that. And in no way, shape, or form do I feel like it's my place or any other wrestler's place to go to a booker, or to a promoter, or to somebody and be like, hey, man, that guy don't cut the mustard. Because listen, truth be told, man, all of us suck, right?
Yeah.
It's just, do you know that you suck? Right? Like, do
Being
you,
self-aware.
yeah, are you aware enough that you have things to grow on? Like, I heard Ric Flair one time say, you never stop learning in this business. And when I heard great grandpa Ric Flair say that, I said, you know what? If he's still learning, bro, I'm gonna still
Yeah.
be learning.
Everyone's a work in progress.
Yeah, that man survived the plane crash. If he's still learning things, like, what do you learn after that?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'll survive the plane crash. That'd be my finishing note. That's the period.
That's right.
Hey, Lou, so what do you have? What do you want to learn today in school? I survived the plane crash. I was 20, so 30, so I'm done. Take me out of college. Give me the PhD today.
Exactly. So I'll end this conversation too, and it's a different question than what we talked with last time. If you hung out with the life that you have and the career that you have in your wrestling career, if you hung out with an adolescent version of you, what would that younger you feel like hanging out with what you've done in your life so far?
Um, so how would younger me feel around me? He'd probably be amazed. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Really?
He'd
Okay.
probably be pretty proud. He'd probably be disappointed at some of my personal life choices, but when I showed him the
A net
rest,
positive.
yeah, when I hit him with the wrestling belt, he'd be like, "Oh, but you got the belt." You know what I mean? Like, he'd probably be happy with it. I'd probably be disappointed with him though,
Yeah.
because why are you not at the gym, bro? Why are you not at the gym? Why are you not at the gym?
Why
Why are
point?
you not at the gym?
Just pointing at the younger stuff pointing at you.
Get back to the gym. You told them people you was gonna be at that gym. I'm gonna give me a Planet Fitness membership. You went one time. You hit the treadmill for 5 minutes. Get back to that gym.
But I'll ask this like last time too. Like, what would you? The answer will change, or if you remember that advice that you gave to your adolescent you, what will be that advice while you're hanging out with them too?
Just really, man, don't get hung up on the small stuff. You know what I mean? Take the risk, and don't beat yourself up too much about things that aren't gonna be forever. Like, enough about what you perceive life to be.
Yeah,
I hate to say you're right, and it is a lot of negatives. So, just rock with the punches and don't put all your eggs in any baskets.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If you bet too hard on certain things, they're gonna backfire. And if you lose good relations with people, don't let it rule your life and make you do things that you might regret, or don't let them put you in a position, right? Like, don't let nobody put you
you're
out of
still in the
position.
driver's seat. Like,
Yeah,
you're
that's
still
it.
there.
That's it. Don't let nobody put you in a position that you don't have to be in. Because, like you said, you're still in the driver's seat, and at the end of the day, um, crashing out's for dummies. It's not cool.
There you go.
It's cool.
Oh, this is fun. No, and I think we've had so many side conversations over the past year, and it's been a while. We've had a deep dive like this in quite some time, and the work that you've done, it's never gonna be perfect, but yet it's always that 1% to getting to where you need to go. Yeah.
Just
So
trying, man. I'm trying. I'm trying to get on TV.
so I have nothing left to give. You have the floor. Where can we find you? And what's upcoming this week?
Okay. So I believe by the time this drops, we'll be in the later half of September. And in September, I'm a very busy boy. September 20th, you can find me at AAPW beating somebody up again. September 21st, You can find me and Mo Kelly beating up Purple Haze at Baracho. Shots on the House, I believe it is.
Yep. Shots in the house. Yep.
Chops.
Something.
You're not hearing me. You're not following me. Chops on the house.
God damn it.
After that, on the 27th, you'll be able to see us at SWA in San Antonio, where Mo Kelly will be taking on Kane Carter. And me and Ethan Hunter in the cut, and whoever wants it can get it. And then on the 28th, I will be at HOT with Matt Locke, and we will be defending our tag team titles one more time against Sky De La Cremosa and Rex Mori. And I'm going to just say, all right, 2 weeks, 2 title defenses. Come get you a dose of Lue Cameron. See what they scared to talk about, because at the end of the day, listen, man, your favorite wrestler, you might think that they're a badass, right? You might think that. You might see him hit, you might see him throw a little choppy chop. You might see him hit him a little Larry, and you be like, they're kind of cool. But then you see him get in the ring with Lue Cameron, and you see the aura deplete on him, and you see him start fizzling out, and you be like, oh man, I think they're scared. They are. They are. Terrified. Shaking like a stripper. But nevertheless, it's always a good time when you see Lue Cameron and plus, hey man, listen, if you pre-order my tickets at AAPW, I'll be throwing free pictures signed. Hey man, man of the people, man of the people. But yeah, outside of that, if you're ever in pain, go to Austin Integrative Medicine and Acupuncture out in Georgetown. You know what I'm saying? Go get you
pinned up.
Yeah, man. Get them knots and aches and pains out your body. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, man. Oh, hey, you see my shirt?
Yeah.
It's
there.
a side tattoo.
Yeah.
Alex decided, howdy y'all tattoo. I seem like I'm out here on a fucking plug run, right? But it's not that, right? I like to let the people know how they can be more like Lue Cameron. You can't be.
There you go.
The end. But you can go out and love the things that I love, and that help me be the best version of myself. And as always, watch the PGKT podcast and everything this man does, because this guy here, man, I'm gonna tell you right here, by the manual, it's a solid dude. One of the few that I've met, that I've come across, and genuinely always interested, never a bad word to say about anybody, and willing to give people a chance that sometimes really don't deserve it, Pico.
Oh my God. All right. I'll end this too, because I'm going to take out my phone on this. I'm going to put on my camera. So let me turn off my notification on this one, because I still have our clip. I'll show this to you. And come on. Why do you do this? Hold on. I'll do this. I'll put it up in this camera. This was our very first interview.
I remember that.
So, I kept this on my phone before we'll end the conversation. That was kind of like the start of where it's heading in the podcast. And there's so many people that are contributing, but you are the very first to let me figure out my voice as an interviewer. And without you, without Mo and Tina, you were like one of the starters for that. And I really appreciate how you guys are really improving in the business over time since we last spoke, and watching all of your matches over time. So you guys are kind of like the number one, and then it builds up. So I never got to say that because I'm busy.
Yeah,
so it's part of the reason
busy.
I'm busy, but I never got to really appreciate how everything started and how this podcast built up. And it's a lot of guests, but I've done other interviews on video, but for some reason this interview was like, how can I roll this podcast over? And I left that interview and I drove back home, and it's one of those conversations where let's run it back. And here we are.
Hey, it's a great time too, man. I ain't gonna lie, look, when you first did that podcast interview, I was in there, I was like, I don't know how this gonna go, because I ain't really know what I was gonna talk about. But then when I watch it back, and I remember being in it, and it just started rolling, and we started vibing in there, and I was like, yo, you know what? The kid's gonna be all right. He's gonna be just fine. This guy's gonna have a future, man. But no, I appreciate that, because it really gave me I mean, gave me more camera time, right? More people.
I mean, that's number one always.
You know, people saw that clip and were like, "Hey, who's this guy?" And I got a couple follows out of it, so I'm not mad about it. You know what I mean? But I always liked that because it kind of felt like, I don't know if you ever watched South by Southwest interviews, like after shows that they be having them on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, and it kind of felt like that to me. And it kind of
Really?
it felt like a big deal, man. And then shortly after that, me and Mo Kelly went to war in a Monsters Ball match. That was before we were friends.
There you go.
Now we're
There
cool.
you go.
Now we're cool. I still.
There you go. Let's go off on the tangent. But we'll end our conversation here. So whether you're tuning in on Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, and on Apple Podcast, thank you, Lou, for having you on. And we'll end our conversation here, and we'll be on to the next one.